The Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, was this past week. The 10th day after that holy day is the day that some consider to be the holiest day of the entire Jewish year. Shalom, my friends. Yes, 10 days after Rosh Hashanah comes the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, and many people do say it is the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. I don't say so. I say the holiest day on the Jewish calendar is Shabbat, the Sabbath. Now, some will counter that Yom Kippur is called in Leviticus the Sabbath of Sabbaths. But so are other days, including the weekly Sabbath. They're called the same thing. But right now we're talking about how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. Yom Kippur is indeed a very holy day. It also bears no resemblance to the way it was observed in biblical times, as described in the book of Leviticus, chapter 16. There, atonement is made vicariously by the high priest on behalf of himself, the rest of the priesthood, and the nation. It included the ritual of the scapegoat. But today, Yom Kippur is highly individualized. One cannot make atonement for sin on behalf of someone else. But one of the single most distinctive elements of the day is the fast, which ends up being at least 25 hours in length and usually a little longer than that. Fasting is not mentioned specifically in the Torah. Leviticus does tell us to afflict ourselves on Yom Kippur, and the primary way of doing that is by observing the fast. But is that what God wants us to do? On the morning of Yom Kippur, we read a passage from the prophet Isaiah that seems to imply an answer to that question. Isaiah condemns fasting when it is done as an empty ritual practice. He says that God does not accept the fast of the Israelites, quote, because on your fast day you see to your business and oppress all your laborers, because you fast in strife and contention, and you strike with a wicked fist. Your fasting today is not such as to make your voice heard on high. Isaiah then asks the rhetorical question, is such the fast I desire, a day for men to starve their bodies? Is it bowing the head like a bulrush and lying in sackcloth and ashes? Do you call that a fast, a day when the Lord is favorable? And then Isaiah gives us God's answer to the question of what kind of fast is the right kind. He wrote, no. This is the fast I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. It is to share your bread with the hungry and to take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, to clothe him and not ignore your own kin. God's fast goes far beyond denying yourself food and drink. It also means banishing from yourself the negative attributes against which we should all struggle, especially the things that prevent us from taking action to help the poor and the disenfranchised in society. Our physical fast should remind us of the goals of Isaiah's spiritual fast. This is the message of Yom Kippur. Spend a day being hungry and thirsty, and remember those experiencing the same things, but without being able to look forward to a nice meal when the sun goes down and the fast is over. Renew your commitment to righteousness and justice in how you treat others. I would say that any day on which you do those things is a day that you have made holy. Does that mean you can bring holiness to any random Tuesday? Well, it does. But when you do it on a day specifically designated by the Bible as a day being dedicated to this very form of holiness, you have a powerful combination indeed, with holy words, sacred melodies, and a sacred community dedicating themselves to the same ideals as you. Let those elements work together for you so that this will be an especially meaningful Yom Kippur. In fact, my friends, it is traditional to wish one another a tzom kal, an easy fast on Yom Kippur. But in recent years, I've been changing it up a bit, and I wish for others what I wish for myself, a tzom mashma'uti, a meaningful fast. May it be so for all of us. Next week, my friends, I'll get back to the unwritten rules of ending a YouTube video. For this week, I'll just ask for a thumbs up and a subscription. We're almost up to 850 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, but you're logged into YouTube, you can subscribe by clicking on my face right over here and ring the notification bell, or watch another video by clicking on its icon right over there. The traditional Yom Kippur greeting is Gmar Chatima Tova. May you finish with a good inscription in the Book of Life. And of course, as ever, until next time, Shabbat Shalom.